Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Prepper Fireside live special Q&A. So not a subject, not a scenario. This is all on you guys. Don't ask any questions and we'll go offline. All right? No questions. Off we go. There we go. It's as simple as that. I'm joined by, of course, Dave, the urban survivalist. How are you, Dave?
I'm good, buddy. Been busy with the allotments, so aching like an old man, but yeah, all good.
Got a lovely suntan glow going there. It's going to look weird next week when it's snowing. Brian, from your secret undisclosed layer again. Still no Frey Bentos pies behind you, much to our disappointment. How are you doing?
All good, mate. Just been busy trying to get the garden set up for the workshop.
Excellent. I know, destroying a perfectly good hot tub. I mean, there goes my fireside hot tub party plan, you know.
Mate, 2 years it's sat never used.
I know, but who wouldn't tune into us three talking in a hot tub? Come on, that's golden TV right there.
Me for one.
Thank you, everybody in the chat who's joined already. We've got 52 people in the room already. Loads of green names. I love to see it. If you don't know what a green name is, it's because they become a member of the channel. And now it's 99p. I mean, it's nothing. You can't get anything for 99p these days, but you can get membership to the channel. So now's the time to join. We don't know how long it'll last.
Don't know about that, Mike. Depends how desperate the junkie is.
Get your fix of Brian every day for 99p. Hawkins, £5 super chat. Thank you very much. And we'll start with Hawkins' question very quickly before I go on to the proper ones. How many cans of Pepsi Max does Brian drink in a day? Before Brian answers, what do you reckon? We'll have me and you will gamble on this one, Dave. How many Pepsis do you think he goes through in a day? I'm going to say
7.
Oof, I was going to go about 12. Go on, Brian.
About 24.
What?
And you're still alive?
What?
Yeah. But I'll go through a pallet.
Pepsi, if you're watching this, sponsor this man. He's been sponsoring you for years. Thank you, Hawkins, for the £5 super chat. All the super chats really do help the channel, not just with money, but it gets the stream out there to more people as well. First, before we go on to people's questions, make sure if you have got a question for any of our panel tonight or all of the panel, put it in block capitals. I will try not to miss it. Or if you use the super chat like Hawkins, it automatically flags it on my system. So I won't have a choice but to not see it. So there's your options. Get your questions in. But I'm going to start with this because we get a lot of new preppers, people searching the words prepper community and stuff like that. And I want to start from the basics, even though you've both had this interview question on the podcast. Dave, when and why did you start prepping?
I started prepping because basically the London riots got into my head when I realised that civil unrest can go on a mass scale. And if that was not checked when it could have got even worse and it could have spread. It did spread to a couple of other towns. And I got into the whole Little House on the Prairie thing, strange from a 6-foot skinhead covered in tattoos. I really
had you from the start as a Little House on the
Prairie. But I kind of like the whole homesteading kind of reality life. So we started turning the prepping into like an urban survivalist and urban self-sufficiency as much as we can. So that's kind of where I am with it, or where I originated it from.
Cool. Do you wish you'd started doing it sooner or later, for that matter?
I think, to be honest, I always get in that point that I'm like, why do I prep? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I go like, why do I prep? Should I prep? You know, everyone's been saying the world's going to end for the last 100 years and we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's but I think I've always had that mindset. I've always had a critical thinking mindset and, like, you know, looking at things outside the box.
There we go. Cracking open another can. There was conservative estimates, by the way. Snapdragon went for 4. Trade went for 5. Polonium said 6. Hawkins was the only one close with 20 plus. Suburban Preppers said 6, and Kaz says 6. Yeah, and then they're all really concerned about your health now, Brian. So We will donate a portion of the proceeds from the fireside towards Brian's medical bills when he needs it. Brian, when and why did you start prepping?
2010, bad winter. Didn't have a lot of food in the house. All the roads were shut. And my 3 kids were a lot younger. So by the time I got a backpack and walked up to Tesco's, which had one checkout open, lots of people losing their shit in their minds, queuing up, tempers flaring, and I thought, no, I've got to be better than that. Not for me, but I felt like I'd let the kids down if I hadn't been able to get them something. So that pretty much started me.
Cool. And if you could have, would you have started sooner or later? Now that you know what you know now,
I'd never start later. I think I started at the right time.
Yeah.
I think it was just meant to be then.
Cool. I'll answer obviously because it's a panel thing. I've always been a semi-prepper, just not calling it a prepper. I've always had pantries full of food. I've always been prepared in some sort of way since, moving out at 16 to be on my own. But obviously military and different things like that give you more of a mindset of that. But the Carrington event and looking into that rabbit hole made me step into more serious side of it. I wish I had started sooner. I wish I took the amount of money I've wasted on stuff prior to prepping. I probably would have had more power banks than Brian. So that's my answer on that one. I am starring your questions, guys. Don't think I'm missing them at this stage. I'm starring what I can as we go through the conversation. If I do miss any, I do apologize. Phil, I've seen all 6 of yours. You are our backup questions. I've got you on this left screen and everyone else is on the right. Don't you worry. Last one from me. If you started again, if you were back to when you first started prepping, Dave, would you start any differently than how you did?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem is a lot of preppers do this, and new preppers, and I see it all the time on my group. The groups have got thousands of members across the different groups and stuff like that. And I see them all the time, and they're tin collectors. Yeah. And I think I used to be the same. It was like literally, make sure I've got like my tins of Spam and like my corned beef and stuff like that without relying on skills. So I would have gone back to learn skills at an earlier stage rather than leaving it like a few years into it. So I think I would have gone back and all the skills that I've learned over the last 10 years, I would have liked to probably start that a bit earlier. Yeah, much sooner.
Brian, if you were starting prepping for the first time, if you could time travel, would you start a different way? Would you do it any differently?
Probably slightly. My core preps would have been the same, and how I started them would have been broadly the same, but I'd have joined different clubs earlier for collecting sports activities.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And that, again, that's sort of honing a skill set in the same sort of way, like Dave was saying. For me, I'd have just been a lot more organized. I think I got took down as soon as I started stepping into prepping properly, I got down the YouTube fear wagons, and it was like, panic buy all this. Oh, no, actually, I've not got any things sorted for water. Panic buy all this. So just be more organized with it and take a more relaxed approach. Killer71, thank you for the £5 super chat. Your question has been flagged and we're up to questions, so it will bump to the top of the list. Given the USA's shakiness re NATO, etc., have you guys revised your opinions on how close we may be to war with Russia? Oh, we did touch on this not long ago. So with everything that's going on, does anyone want to jump in first on this one?
Well, I think to be honest, as you know, I'm not a big news watcher or anything like that. But I think the divide between America and the UK is becoming more. The more I'm seeing it, it's like we've got Keir Starmer, they've got Donald Trump. Donald Trump's quite out there and he says what he thinks. Keir Starmer, he's like, he is what he is, isn't he? I mean, he's a melt. Yeah. Let's be honest. It's And I think the relationship between the US and the UK is drifting further apart. And when he said to Keir Starmer, could you take on Russia on your own? No, you couldn't. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
it's a bit childish though, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like, I think they're all as bad as each other, to be honest. Do I think we will ever go to war with Russia? I don't think so. I think it's been threatening for so long. I mean, the tensions are obviously high at the moment, but I think, to be honest, I can't see it happening with Russia. I think something out of the ordinary is going to happen. I think World War III will start with Iran or Iraq.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, have you revised your opinions of how close we may be? If you remember on that live, some people were saying months. There was a lot of predictions within a year.
I think the normal rule book has been torn up and thrown in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Deterrence relies on predictability, on the West knowing how Russia will react or won't overreact. And that works the same way. They depend on knowing. So in the past, if they saw a ballistic missile coming, they'd be more inclined to think it's been a freak mishap that we haven't notified them about, and they won't counter-launch. But with all the uncertainty that Trump's created and all the old rule books been thrown out, if they were to launch a test and hadn't told somebody and they missed the memo, that predictability is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's the problem. The predictability that the USA will come to the West's aid should we need it and comply with their treaty obligations, that's not a certainty anymore. So yeah, that's my big problem. Predictability is gone, and for any form of deterrence to work, you need that. You need to know what they'll do, and they need to know what you're going to do, and no crazy shit. And all we've got now is crazy shit.
Yeah. Well, my answer is going to take both of yours and just smush them together into some sort of pie. I don't think there's going to be an intentional war between the UK and Russia. However, I think if we part of this joint effort with France and we start policing the skies around Ukraine and stuff like that, there's going to be a few accidental shootings, accidental, planes being downed and stuff like that. Or, oh, I didn't realize it was your plane. And I think we could get pulled into a war by accident, by contacts that shouldn't have been contacts. Sorry, I meant to start that, not pull it up. Okay, thanks for the question, Killer, and thank you for the super chat. That's why you were bumped to the top, legend. Thank you very much. I will mention the Bug Out Shop is in the house. If you've not seen it, Lee is becoming a film star now, doing his own little mini-series. He had his opening episode the other day. Go and check out the Bug Out Shop channel to watch that. And I think he's trying to get his next script off us, boys, because there was 3 guys chasing him at the end of the last one. So
the erotic adventures of Lee.
For Lee's script, we'll come to you first this time, Brian. If you were trapped in a house with 3 bad guys hunting you, how would you get out?
Throw a jar of Vaseline in the floor and start winking at them, and they'll run out the door.
Now the serious one, please.
It depends what you've got. Depends how close they are. The preferred option would be to escape. If that's not an option, then it depends what you've got with you. If you've got a means to get rid of the problem quickly, with as little harm to you as possible, then unfortunately that's going to be the preferred option.
Dave, jump through a window, take them on one at a time. What's the plan?
I think the thing is, if you're trapped in your own house, it says in our house, but if it was your own house,
I'll tell you, for this scenario's sake,
go on, then.
It's more like an abandoned farmhouse that's up on the Welsh moors somewhere. Just
okay, all right, okay, yeah, all right. So basically, most of them have cellars anyway, don't they? These abandoned farmhouses. But I think I would be more liable to probably try and take them on or set traps or something. It's like, I'm a bit horrible like that. I don't think, and I'm too old to run.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's a good question, and it's a great little sly plug from Lee there. But go and watch his
good
episodes,
video.
and we'll find out how he does get out of a house trapped with 3 guys. And it'll be a great watch. So go and check that out. Let me just quickly scan through and star any ones I've missed during all that. Miss Worm has put the Bug Out Shop channel there. So that's awesome. Right. Back to the top of the list. Rift Security, who is a new member, became a member today, taking advantage of that 99p offer, guys, while it's still on. If the government offered you £2,000 for prepping, as long as you declared it with receipts, would you take it? I mean, paid to prep?
Yeah.
What's the I don't know. What's the caveat to that?
There is a catch, though, isn't there?
There's got to be a catch.
The thing is with this, it's like, I would say no, for the simple reason is that if it ever come, and this has happened in history before, where they've gone around there to take gold and silver and food items from people for the troops and for the war effort. So if they know that Brian at number 52 has 18 Frey Bentos pies that they can feed the troops with, they're going to come and take it.
18 rookie numbers.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like, if things are traceable, things are also knowledge to other people.
Yeah.
And I find that I don't think the money would buy it for me. I could do with the money, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think it would I would be thinking critically, thinking like, why do they want to know what I've got so they can come and take it when they want? Because what happens, especially in the UK, what happens is they say, you know, it's really good that you're prepping. Here's £2,000, help your prepping. 4 months down the line, prepping is illegal. They're far right Nazis. We must stop them. Then you get a knock on the door, police taking all your stuff. It's like, you can't win. So it's like, I would say no.
Brian, you initially jumped in and said yes, Brian, but does that give you more food for thought?
No. Who says you've got to keep it at home?
True. Yeah.
Get right. Take their valid points. They've got. I mean, FEMA did it. FEMA did it in the last couple of natural disasters. They broke open bunkers that were supposed to be undisclosed locations, but they've got lists, say, Atlas survival shelters and where they've built these bloody things. So they broke into people's food stocks, enacted hoarding legislation, and took everybody's shit. So it'd be pretty stupid to have all your shit in one place for a start anyway. But if they're giving you £2,000, should I spend more than that a year in prep and stuff anyway? I would just take the money, give them the receipts, and then move it somewhere else. And if they come knocking on your door, where's that stuff? Oh, I sold it, mate.
Yeah. It would be a hard offer to refuse. And let's be fair, it depends how much they're going to police that, because, you know, here's a receipt. It's easy done, right? You know, people do it all the time when in the building trade, let's say, for example. Don't want to stereotype, but thanks for the question, Rift Security, and thanks for becoming a new member as well today. It was awesome. Quickly check the last 10 in the live. I'd get my 82-year-old mum to get the money. There you go. Okay, so right, next question. We'll go to one of Phil's just so he's not left out. I'll have to read it. I can't pull it on the screen, but knowing the geopolitical things going on now, if you were brand new to prepping, what one prepping thing would you buy and one skill learn as priority? If the first thing you're going to buy and the first thing you're going to learn. Let's take food and water out of the equation. Let's say you've already got a good stock of that anyway, just in general. So think of actual prepping items. Dave, do you want to go?
Well, I was going to say a water filter and an outside water filter. Yeah. No, like a soya or something like that.
That's fine. That's fine. I just meant not bottled water. And canned.
So I would say, like, literally, I would get a water filter, either a water to go or a soya. And for skills, I would definitely say foraging or hunting. and everyone will frown against sort of like hunting and stuff like that. But if SHTF situation, we haven't got the local council like chasing you to like fine you for like shooting a pigeon. You know, it's like it's a good skill to learn. And do you know what upset me more in life is like, this is actually true. I think if you shoot a seagull, no, what is it? If you shoot a cat in the UK, no, I don't condone shooting cats, by the way, or anything like that. But I was looking at the law. If you shoot a cat, because I've got a cat. But if you shoot a cat in the UK, you can get a fine of 400 quid, right? But if you shoot a seagull, you can get £1,000 fine. So a seagull is rated higher in the food chain than a cat. It's mad, isn't it? And they're pests. I'm sure this country is designed to literally make us like.
What if I throw a cat at the seagull? It eats the seagull, then I shoot the cat.
But you're guilty by association by throwing it. But no,
I don't know why she swallowed a fly.
But no, in answer to your question, I think it definitely a portable water filter that you can use at home as well, and either foraging or hunting skills.
Yeah, Brian, one prepping thing you would buy and one skill to learn?
I'd go with the water filter. I've got to. It's the first thing you're going to need, and it'll be the last thing you'll ever need. Water filter and a first aid course.
See, I'm different. So
we know that.
Totally new to it. I would go for a survival course, very basic survival course, how to start a fire with, you know, stuff around you. And the first thing I buy would be a good quality knife. Purely based on the fact I could filter and boil water without a gadget if I had to on a survival course, right? So that gives me that filtering ability. And this is just the first thing you're going to buy. So I want the first thing to be that. And yeah, that's just me. But, you know,
can't drink a knife, though, Mike.
Have you tried?
Yeah. Couple of visits to A&E.
Will would mention at this point, disclaimer across the bottom, just to, anyone thingy. And yeah, thank you for the question. That was from Philip Hull 7919, who is in the chat. Thank you, Philip, but he put it on the comments earlier on today. I'm going to scroll through because there's a question we need to address first of all before we go any further. Where's it gone? It's gone. I've lost it. There we go. There it is. Stuart Lonnan. Roughly, how long into a live stream do you expect Brian to get you demonetized? Well, this one, Stuart, was at 15 minutes and 16 seconds precisely when he mentioned throwing Vaseline into a room of 3 guys attacking him and then winking at them. So there you go. That's my answer for that one. Thank you.
It's a valid strategy, Mike. Or it could end horribly wrong.
Right. Back to serious matters. George B. At what point, if any, would you consider your preparedness journey complete? Death?
Me? Yeah.
Dave, do you want to go? Have you got a target that you're going to hit and think, right, I'm done prepping, I could just carry on?
I think, to be honest, it's like I'm not far off. It's I'm like I say, you say you're different, I'm different. I think it's like I'm not an equipment guy. It's like a skills guy, more than equipment. So I think it's like I'd like to do a bit more first aid, but I think, to be honest, it's like there's not a lot of stuff I would want now. Maybe if I don't need nothing. Let's put it this way: on a prepping scene, I don't need anything. I could literally be self-sufficient now. I don't need solar. I don't need all this stuff. You know, I don't need all these luxuries. Now, I do want to have more stuff, but at the moment, I don't think I need it, and it would be wasting my money really that I could spend on something else. And I think I was actually talking to this about my wife today, to my wife, and I was saying about like memories are more important than stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like if I was going to spend £2,000 on a generator, I'd rather spend £2,000 on a holiday with my wife and child and make a memory. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I've got to the point where if the shit goes down, I'm strong, I'm fit, I'm skilled. I'd like to think that I had a good chance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, and an end in sight then for Dave. Brian, is there an end game?
There's a wish list that never seems to get any smaller. That's for sure. I don't think so, and purely because you'll always be reviewing your preps, you'll always be replenishing preps that have went out of date or whatever that you've not consumed, or maintaining them, adding to them. New tech comes along, new items come along. You do a course, and then you need new things for that you've found that you'd a window in your preps that you didn't know about. So no, I don't think you're. I personally don't think you're ever finished. I'd like to be, but what I would say is Dave's point about the holidays and things. That's a great point, because it's trying to strike a happy balance. You've got to. It's dead. It's really, really easy for this shit to take over your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and stick a budget in mind in a year, and then make sure we still go holidays and different things. But you've got to get the balance right.
Yeah, just good planning. My answer for that, George, would be Teotihuacan, or the end of the world as we know it. And remember, that doesn't mean there's been an apocalypse or anything like that. That's just the end of the life as we know it, like how we're living now. That could be no power. That could be something else. That could be the country's taken over by someone else. It could be anything. But basically, when you're at the point where you're in the situation, if it's a minor disaster, you're still going to carry on prepping afterwards. But if you're in the situation that's it, like we're talking about in our scenario, then obviously preparedness is no longer a thing, because you're past the point where you can prepare. So there you go. That would be my one for that. Thank you for the question, George B. Much appreciated. Can I just mention we've got 112 people in here. Thank you for being here. Miss Worm, our awesome moderators in there, keeping you in check and keeping you up to date with all the links of how you can do everything and how you can put a question in. So just keep an eye on the chat if you're not sure what's going on. And don't worry, we will get through them, even if we're a bit behind. Elusive Dartmoor Survival. Do you think it's important to go out and test your skills and gear now rather than later and find out your kit is too heavy or not so good? Everyone knows my answer to this one. Dave?
Absolutely. Kit wankers really annoy me. It is. It's like I come across them all the time. Like
kit wankers to me are the guys that turn up at the football match for the pub, not just wearing a shirt, wearing shorts and socks as well. That was what
you know, it's like the thing is like I come across so many of them, and they're all like, you know, I've got this new like GPS system that cost me like £2,000, and I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got like this, and like trying to like boast that they've got all this stuff, but in reality they're overweight. They've never tested any of their skills. They probably can't even walk a mile, you know. And I think it's like going out and testing your skills, testing your equipment is key to survival. I mean, it's like now, if somebody give me a bit of equipment, I would have to test it, you know, no matter what it is. Because if I go out there or something happens and I need to use it and I haven't got a clue, you know, it's like we had this like when we was training with like firearms back in the day and stuff like that. People that didn't even know how to put a safety catch on and off. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like they're sitting there like, oh no, it's jammed. It's like I can't do nothing with it, and it's like, you know, there's a safety catch there, mate, on the side. It's just, you know, it's just common sense, and I think if you don't, it's quite a foolish move.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's just kit for someone else to take.
Yeah, you'd rather find out something's naff and be able to return it while there's still a returns thing in place. Brian, what's your thoughts on that? Very similar, I'm guessing.
It's a no-brainer, mate, isn't it? It's half the videos I do are reviews based on to let other people know what I think of kit, if it's good, bad, and different. And also, I want to know if it works. I want to know if it'll work when I need it. And if it's a pile of shit, I'll tell people it's a pile of shit. And as I use it, I mean, this weekend I've used 2 different power banks for power tools, and they're perfect for what I want. So I'll let people know other uses.
Yeah.
But if you don't use it, it's just a paperweight.
Yeah. I will mention to anyone new here as well, both these guys do reviews, and both of them do it with their own money and their own stuff, and are honest. It's not a case of sponsored or anything like that. So what you see is what you get. If you're interested in any kits that they've got and looked at, so make sure you go and subscribe to their channel as well. Thank you for the question, Elusive Dartmoor Survival, who also has a channel, which Miss Worm will post in the chat. Thank you, Elusive. Cool. Right, we're getting there. George B, do you currently utilize CCTV video monitoring of your home? If so, which, e.g. cloud-based, remote access, or old school CCTV? The caveat to this, which I didn't highlight, he did say afterwards, I know it sounds like I'm casing your joint, but I'm not. So, Brian, we'll go to you first this time. Do you have CCTV, or even if you don't want to say yourself, would you advise CCTV and stuff like that?
I've got security, and part of that is cameras. One of which I did a review on, but basically there's 360-degree coverage in cameras with PIRs, two-way audio pickups, lights, and sharp pointy sticks. But yeah, I think if you can afford it, and the Galio ones that I was looking at, and I've bought a few of now, they're less than 30, 35 quid.
Yeah.
You can run them off a power bank. See, like a little power bank that size. If your electricity goes out, you can run it off that. So for a shit hits the fan situation, they're perfect. So yeah, get it.
Cool. Dave, CCTV, are you a fan?
Well, it's quite funny because it's like, and I actually found this out as I was like going along, because I did a YouTube video on this, actually. This
there you go,
is a little digital camera, right? But it's actually designed as a baby monitor or a nanny cam or something like that. Now, this is brilliant. It's about 20 quid. It plugs into a power bank, right? It's got night vision on it. It's got two-way sound on it. And I literally have one of those in the front window because there's only one way into my house. Because once you get in, you're not getting out. Trust me.
Welcome to Dave's Thunderdome.
but it's a really good thing. I'm thinking on a budget for people. It's like you don't have to like have it wired in. That was freaky. I just got some really weird noise coming from like ceiling. Haunted. Anyway, so you don't have
he's
to,
not getting out.
Somebody's going. So you don't have to plug this in. We wire it up to a power bank, which will last about 4 days on a power bank. Right. And we have it on the front. It's got 360 rotation on it, and it's really good. The only problem is with it, it can't be outside. It's an internal thing. If you have it outside, you can put it in a glass box, like a Perspex box or anything.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good thing for the money.
Cool. Where was that from?
That was from Amazon, and that was $19.99, and it's called A Little Elf. So basically how this works, have a look at the video on my channel anyway, but to simplify it to people that are here, you get an app on your phone, and it's called the Little Elf app. So you connect it, and then you can literally go on there, and you can also speak through your phone, and it will come through the monitor. It's a really clever, for the money, it's really clever, you know, and you can turn it from your phone. So like, you know, I don't think it's motion sensor as such, but it has got that ability to go round. But yeah, like I say, it's like 20 quid plus a power bank, app on your phone. It's a piece of piss, and it's dirt cheap, and it does the job. Budget.
There you go. Cool. Go and check out the reviews, and Dave will give you the full details on that one. I'm going to go and check that out myself, to be fair.
What is that comment, Mike?
Which one?
Dave, are you a really big teddy bear?
I didn't see that one, Dave. You might want to reserve that one. I don't know. I'm not
Suburban
sure.
preppers.
Oh, okay, there you go. You've got beard fans and just cuddle fans by the sounds of it. Turns out Dave's our eye candy, Brian. He's countering us.
Yeah, right. I'm the
It's a
oldest
low
one
bar
here.
in this chat, mate. That's for
Right,
sure.
exactly.
Thanks for your comments and your support, guys. It's always appreciated. And that question was George B. Thank you very much for that. This one's from John C., member of the channel and of our Discord group, of course. What advice would you give to new preppers who feel a bit overwhelmed and feel they have so much to catch up on? Because we've had this a few times, and we've seen people like this. Dave, I mean, calm down, take a breath and step back would be the first thing. But what advice would you give to new preppers who are feeling overwhelmed? They've gone down that fear trap.
I think, to be honest, I think it's like what I always say to people on my channel, and it gets quite deep, but it's like I always say that you live by propaganda, hearsay, and reality, especially with the psychological thing. So we're bombarded with propaganda, left, right, news channels saying different stuff. And then we have hearsay, which is he said, she said, you know, it's like you're hearing the rumors of other people and the fears instilled. Just live in the reality of what you see around you. Don't know what's happening in Russia ain't going to affect you for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Unless we go to war. And again, you're probably going to get plenty of notice of it. But living each day in fear is a bad thing. And when it comes to you've got to live your life and you've got to enjoy your life without like thinking, oh my God, like, because I used to be like it. When I started, I was just like, oh my God, like we're going to go to nuclear war with, there's going to be another pandemic, blah, blah, blah. And it's like your brain and it starts affecting your way of life. So you've got to start living by reality and avoid the propaganda and hearsay. And when it comes to kit and stuff like that, you don't have to catch up on anything. You can do it on a small budget. You can get tools secondhand. Nothing has to be good. I mean, if you've got a basic knife, a basic hatchet, you've got a way to cook your food, a way to filter your water, you're pretty much halfway there. You know, it's like it doesn't cost a lot. Probably for under 100 quid, you could get a lot of stuff that will start you off. And, you know, I mean, my first knife I ever bought for bushcraft and stuff like that was, I think it was 19 quid. It was crap, don't get me wrong, but it served a couple of journeys.
Beat you. Mine was a £6 Mora knife on offer.
Yeah, but see, I've still got the Mora knives and stuff like that, and they're
really
great.
Good, yeah.
But like this, when I first started, I bought I think it was a Columbus or some really crap make, and I took it out in the woods. It had the Rambo feel. It was like quite good. It cut stuff. It was sharp, and literally, I started learning about steels and stuff in knives back then because I got this knife and I thought, oh, that looks the business. I stuck the tip in there, and a whole inch of the top just snapped off, and it was like. And I was out in the woods with no knife now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's
it's a scary learning curve because that's easy. If that break could easily cause an injury.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned that by buying a knife that wasn't full tang, and a firm like cut down like that flipped the blade back on me almost.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I think you've got to like. But you need these experiences, and this is a good thing about people following us on YouTube and the Facebook channels and that, because we make the mistakes so you don't have to, you know. So it's like if someone says to me, "What's this knife like?" I go, "It's absolute shite, mate. I broke it in the first night." You know, get yourself a £7 Mora, and it will last you forever. Yeah, you know. Cool. But yeah, overcome the fear, don't fear, and get some basic cheap equipment, and you'll be all good.
Brian, advice to people feeling overwhelmed, new to prepping?
It's normal. It's totally normal. We've all been there. You go through cycles of that. It's like if you've got a headache, you Google headache, you don't look at the bit that says take 2 paracetamol, you've got a brain tumour. Prepping's the same. You don't look at somebody that's got a 12 quid Teamy water filter and think I could start out with that. You look at somebody that spent 350 in a jerry can filter and go, oh fuck, how am I going to afford that?
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same. So it's not a competition. And join the Discord, chat to different people, chat. All our email addresses are on there. The chat's always up and running. Talk to people. Try not to get drawn into the fear bubble. Look at all the channels, but ones that are trying to get you to spend a fortune. No.
Yeah, and you're right, and I'll hold my hands up. You don't want to listen to some of my videos where I've said the top 10 things for this or the top 10 things of that. That's just based on equipment I've had or I've got and I've reviewed and I've liked, and it might be more expensive than a cheaper alternative, or there might be one that filters a lot more water for a lot less. You know, you might want a Sawyer Mini instead of a full-on, you know, stand-up water filter on your kitchen counter. Yeah, you've got to bear in mind, me and other prepper channels that do that post links. Yes, they are affiliate links. You earn pence, but we're just giving you our recommendations. If you can't afford it, there will be something for your budget. That's why the best thing about my channel is not my channel. The best thing about my channel is the community we've built around it, because that advice is priceless.
I think as well, Mike, jumping on that, sorry, it's and I was saying this to my missus the other day, because like I did a review of a knife that I got for Christmas. Did you see it? That nice one that I showed you, the cold steel drop forge survivalist. Beautiful knife, right? That was like 120 quid, right? I did not need that knife, right?
No, that's not.
I did not need that knife at all. I wanted that knife because it was pretty, right? And this is the problem. What you can do sometimes is like you can look at something and go, Brian might do it with a solar generator or something like that. You go, all right, that's the business, that is, you know, and he might spend like 500 quid on it. Does he need it? No, he doesn't. But like, it's a good bit of kit and he thinks he want it. So this is the trap you have to get out of as well, because I've learned that. And that knife was the last waste of money that I'm doing, even though it's a good tool and it's a solid tool.
How many times have we all said this to ourselves? I'm sorry, Dave. I speak for every 118 people in here. Don't talk shite.
You do.
My wife's probably watching this. So I will say I really do need that power bank. Don't listen to Dave. Dave's on crazy pills today. I totally need that. He doesn't know what he's saying.
Just listen, go take a leaf out my book. You just be the one that's in when the delivery comes and not them. What's that? Oh, it's a gift from a subscriber. Just move that receipt out the way. J-Law, big thank you. £5 super sticker. Thank you very much. I can't see what it is, unfortunately. I just see the word super sticker, but I really do appreciate it. And XP, thank you very much. Says great convo as always, 100%. Another £5 super chat. You guys are awesome tonight. It's really appreciated. And Random Warrior has done the best prep he's going to do all week by becoming a member. And of course, follow that on by going over to the Discord and joining there. Miss Worm put the link in earlier. Just highlight that because I've already just seen it there. Raven Forge doing some good knives. Surprisingly really good stuff. That's where I got my survival knife from, and it's a one solid piece of metal. It's made like from an old rail spike. It is absolutely solid, and it fits as a spear as well. Really
you can't beat going to a forge. I mean, that knife, I've got another knife review on mine. It was custom steel from Australia. Really beautiful looking thing. That's made from a truck leaf spring, right? To buy that in the UK, like, they're so expensive, you know. But like, I think you could probably get something from Raven Forge at a good price. I looked at some of their stuff. It looked pretty good.
They're really good, and they do offers all the time. I've got a few things from them. I've got a wish list for them this big, and I'm just hoping one day they go, do you want to be sponsored? I'll be like, yes, send me them all. Wishful thinking. Andrew Roberts, what's folks' opinions on a small portable toolkit? Tempted to splash out on some 711 litre and Kypex, but the question is, I'm carrying bulk for the sake of it. Oof. I don't know. I don't know the brands there, to be honest. Anybody know them brands?
Never heard of them. Never heard of them.
So small portable toolkit. It depends what you're talking about, right? Vehicle, generally, general tools. So it depends what you're talking about. I will say that each one of my cars has its own little toolkit. I might never use it. and I use Halford stuff. Their own brand stuff is actually really good quality. It's got warranty on stuff like that. So I can't advise. Either of you two, can you either of you jump in on that for toolkits?
It depends on the toolkit, doesn't it? I mean, like you say, it depends on the situation. What I bought, and you can buy these online. You know, little screwdrivers with the adjustable sets on. They're in a pack about that big, little tiny things. Grab one of those. I've also got. I can't even see that.
Turn your brightness down on your screen.
But yeah, it's like you can buy like little portable.
That's
What
cool.
is it?
That's the 711 hex. So it looks like it's a folding tool, like a multi-tool.
Yeah, but see, I've got a Leatherman Wave. I've got a Leatherman Wave Plus, which was actually a kind gift from one of my group members. Bought it for me at Christmas.
That's an awesome, great gift.
Yeah, so they bought it. They actually brought it to my house. I met up with them, and they come round for tea.
Are you listening to this, subscribers? Are you listening?
Yeah.
You got a
so it's like, so they brought me a Leatherman Wave Plus, and it's a great tool. It literally is a great tool.
I swear by Leatherman, I really do.
Yeah, I mean they're not legal to carry about in the UK because they have a locking blade. But you know, it's like if you're going out in the woods or something, or like but yeah, you'd always get the one. I had one. I did a video on is the Leatherman Wave any good? And the first person comment, "Oh, that's illegal in the UK." I'm just mate, get a life. Get a life.
I will mention, because we mentioned about price brackets before, I say Leatherman all the time. Okay, but there's cheap options. I've actually not got it's in my EDC tin. I'm putting it together, but I've got an ex-army one, which is a cheap option, and Gerber actually do some really good ones that almost mimic Leatherman. So you can get like a Leatherman Micro. Gerber do like a mini themselves, and they've got similar tools like with the scissors. So yeah, Gerber's like a budget version, but they're actually really good quality. I just wanted to mention that. Brian, anything extra on tools? You're the engineer out of all of us, right?
Yeah.
Mate, I've still got all my tools from my apprentice. There's 10 grand of snap-on tool still sitting there.
From your apprenticeship. Wow.
So I'm fairly biased to tools and a tool snob.
Sticks and chipped up rocks. Is that what the I froze him out. His tools are as old as his connection.
It's went all robotic-y there.
There you go. Yeah, you're half back.
Sorry, I knew it was getting abuse there, but I missed it all.
No abuse at all. We all said you're wonderful. Carry on.
You probably missed me saying cunt, so I'll just say it again.
Timestamp 48:58.
Cheap tools get you hurt. As a matter of principle, cheap tools get you hurt. For our purposes, if you're prepping in your backpack, weight's critical, like you've just rightly said, a Leatherman or clone thereof, depending on your budget. That plus maybe a little tool for like cutting holes in wood. The little one you get, the multi-tool in the leather pack. Other than that, I wouldn't be taking much more in terms of tooling, and I don't include axes in that. But I mean, the list is as long as your arm. What you could buy for tools, the question's a bit vague. I can't really answer it.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing it's for a backpack.
Scenario. Yeah, maybe more of a scenario. But the multi-tools definitely recommend Leatherman, and Gerber do some good ones as well. But same with everything. Go and check out other people's videos, not just us three here. Go and check out reviews on them. This is why you have the internet at your fingertips, right? So thank you for the question, Andrew Roberts. Appreciate that one. Our old friend Kelly's Eye says, does the possible failure of reform mean we're closer to civil strife? I don't know. No, I'm just going to say no. In this country, if a political party collapses, it means nothing. Something else will rise up in its place, like a phoenix from the ashes, I'm sure. It's, if they trip themselves up and cause themselves, aggro, that's just what happens. I don't think it'll push us any closer to civil unrest. Any of you guys disagree?
No.
Are we talking about Reform Party?
Yeah.
All right. Carry on, Brian. Sorry.
No, you're all good, mate. I was just going to say that it's the same cauldron of turds that are floating in the UK politics. Whatever one rises to the top of the cauldron doesn't really matter. Look, they might jump from the Conservatives to Reform or from Reform to Labour, but for the most part, it's the same self-interested arseholes that we get. We've just got shit politics.
It's only ever centre or this far left of centre or this far right of centre. It's never this and it's never this. So it's never really going to change. Dave, you got any opinions on this?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think the thing is like, you know what I'm like with UK politics. We live in a political system where no one else can get in. It's designed that way. It's really clever. No one will ever get in. You will always, till the day you die, always be seeing Labour, Conservative, maybe Lib Dems every now and then, guys, so they can like make you have the illusion of choice, But it's like, I just don't think anything is going to go from there. I think it's like Reform again. Who runs Reform? I don't know. Nigel Farage.
He stepped down as a director now, isn't he?
Oh, he always steps down, doesn't he?
That's only at company level. He's still technically the political leader.
Yeah. I mean, I got asked to run in my area for Reform. And literally it's like, I ain't that type of person. I don't believe a word any of them say. Because one of my mates, the ex-mayor of my town, was a UKIP guy. He was then an individual, what they called?
Independent, yeah.
Independent, yeah, he was an independent. And then the next day I saw him, he's out canvassing for Tories. And I'm like, what's going on, mate? I said, like, he's gone, he said, I want to get my point across somehow. And I said, but no, you sold out, mate. I said, like, this is the problem. You all do it because you know that our political system is not going to allow you to go anywhere. The only way you're going to get anywhere is by the parties.
It's all about that big paycheck.
They're all salesmen, though, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said on new parties. Let's remember, Labour's only been around since 1900. New century, new party. So there has been new parties, just not in our lifetime. So yeah, we'll leave that one there. We could have political rants all night, I'm sure. I'll start the same question twice. Has Brian got his roof completed yet? Update, please. Mel wants an update on your roof, Brian.
Yes, they replaced it with a drive air system about 2 weeks ago, and then last Friday they put up 8 solar panels instead of the 10 that I wanted, but it is what it is. So yeah, the roof's fixed and there's more solar up on the front, and so all good, mate. Thank you for asking.
Cool. Evil Girl became a new member. Thank you very much, Evil Girl. Really good to have you here. Just going to quickly scan through. And Kelly's Eye became a member. You've been here long enough, Kelly. It's about time, but thank you very much. We put up with a million questions. We deserve your 99p. I'm just scanning through. Leatherman use cast pliers, which can break so easily rather than Victronix use forged. There you go. This is why we have a community. Good to know. I'm not sure what I'd be using my Leatherman pliers on that hard. I don't think I could grip hard enough to break them. So that would be a hell of a scenario. But it's good to know anyway. Good information there. Thank you very much for that. Just scanning through. Oh, that's a scary thought. Right, let's get back to the questions. Look at that. And a £10 super sticker. Thank you very much, Kelly. It's really appreciated. Absolutely awesome. Making up for lost time. Sorry. No, thank you. I just appreciate you being here. You've always got some great inputs into our lives. So that was Brian's roof update. Questions can be about anything. I'm not specifying. What risks of UK civil war as outlined by David Betts in the next 5 years? I don't know the David Betts thing. Any of you know anything on that one? No. Okay, let's just take it as a general question. Do you think civil war's a genuine risk or possibility in this country, Dave? Do you think we've still got that in us? We'd rather stiff up a lip and write a strongly worded letter to the BBC, right?
I think the problem is like a lot of people don't live on the streets. They don't live on the real world. They live in the news world. They live by what we're told on the news and what we're told in the papers and the radio. But when you get talking to people, people are disgruntled. And let's be honest, British people, everyone hates each other in the UK. The division is right. They do. It's like, you know, Americans go up to you. I was talking to an American the other guy. He's gone, oh, you're so great. He's gone like, you know, you say hello and everything. Oh, Brits, all they do is go like, what are you looking at? And it's like, they do, we're like that. It's like, you know, but the country in a whole is so divided, whether it's religion, whether it's political systems. Do you know what I mean? It is literally, it wouldn't take a lot. I mean, we've had it before. Look at when the Britain First and the EDL and stuff like that were marching on the streets against the Muslims. And then the Muslims had the Muslim Defence League. It only takes things like that, little things on a big scale. There was like 100,000 in the numbers. That is like basically the precursor to civil war.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting you said that from the American input, because I worked with a lad from Texas, really nice guy, but he said something similar. He said, no matter who I speak to in this country, and he's been up and down the whole country, when you ask him about where they live, it's a shithole. But it's not a bigger shithole as the town next door, no matter where he was. So it's like Burnley, it's a shithole, but it's not as big a shithole as Blackburn. And then people in Blackburn would say the opposite way around. It's that kind of thing. It was just a funny take on that. Brian, risks of a civil war in the UK?
I'd say more civil disturbance or civil unrest rather than civil war. Civil war kind of implies sides fighting off against one another. I'd say there's very high risks of civil disorder, but that the trigger point for that could be something innocuous, like that there's no bananas in Tesco at the moment, right? People, the line between civility and anarchy is very, very thin. It's very, very thin, and it wouldn't take much supply disruptions, power grid failures, a couple of days of that, people will lose their fucking minds.
But on that, Brian,
there's loads of bananas in Tesco's. Let's not cause a panic. There's loads of bananas.
I was just going to say, signal to the missus that
most of them are working there, but there's plenty of bananas there, right?
But the thing is, in answer to that, Brian, I think it's like, yes, I agree with that, civil unrest and civil disobedience. But the thing is, when it comes to a fact that is mass scale, people will take sides. You won't get like, you're not going to get like 65 million people writing all on the same side that are like.
The thing you've got in this country compared to like the likes of America and stuff like that is obviously the way they could have a civil war is a state could secede, right? And another states could follow them, and they have their own governance in place per state. They have their own military, as in National Guard, in place. For anything in the UK, it's all controlled by one central body. So it's only ever going to be riots and people out of control because they're never going to have a government, an ordnance, an army to rise up, unless it was the likes of, you know, the Scottish tried to move Hadrian's Wall a bit further south again, you know.
Well, I think, I get that. I think, you know, it could be like guerrilla warfare or something like that. I mean, look at, I used to live in Northern Ireland. So when the IRA were there, and it was like they couldn't control them. Literally, the British Army, no matter what the size, because they were all connected, you know, it was very difficult for them because the people were for that cause, you know. And I'm not saying I'm for that or anything like that, but what I'm saying is like the problem is when you get civil unrest, you're still going to get a pecking order. Do you know what I mean? And this is basic psychology. You know, you're going to get a pecking order with anything. It's like even when you had big firms like Britain First, the EDL and stuff, they all had arguments about the pecking order in there, you know, and then people broke off in different factions and stuff like that. And I think it could possibly end up either religious war or a race war.
Jesus.
You know, in the future. Who knows?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. No.
Like I say, it's for me. I just think it's lacked the capabilities of it, and it would always be just a riot out of control. Even if you go back in history, the Peterloo massacre, where it was thousands and thousands of people and it was protesting and it turned to violence, but it would never escalate beyond that because the other side's not as organized as a full government. So it's a different situation these days. So it depends what you mean. The word civil war is very specific. Civil unrest, yes. Civil disturbances, yes, 100%. Thank you for your question, though, Amphia. There was a nice little thinker one that. Maybe it's a scenario we could play out, lads. That'd be a good thing to do.
Another war.
Do you think Harmer will try to get a war so he can suspend elections and stay in power? If so, we have a timescale. I mean, haters will hate, and they're always going to say stuff like that. I think no politician would be that bold, and I don't think he's got the balls to make a move as drastic as that. It might happen by chance, but it would have to be a severe war for us to not have the elections. We'd have to be directly affected for it to be wartime in our actual country. But any of you guys got extra thoughts on that one?
You go first,
it's not likely. Oh, thanks, mate. Risk versus reward. He stands to lose more than he would ever gain with a general war, even if it was restricted, regional, or whatever. No, there's just no chance. There's no way that would ever happen. He could lose his life, never mind his political position. So no, I don't think so.
Dave, any extra?
I'm just checking the disclaimers on the bottom. Yeah.
Here we go.
The thing is I actually watched that, which was really interesting, and I'll have to find the link and send it to you. And it was called "The Last President of America and the Last Prime Minister of the UK." And they reckon, according to Agenda 2030 or whatever it is, that I think it probably Donald Trump or whoever's after him will be the last president. They won't re-elect again. And the same as the UK thing. It was saying like it's part of like a one world leadership type of thing. Conspiracy aside, it was just something I read. So it was quite interesting. But Keir Starmer will try and get a war so he can suspend elections and stay in power. Again, nobody wants him in power. Let's be honest. I mean, like Brian said, there's repercussions.
Landslide victory, Dave. Landslide victory.
Yeah, I know, like Biden. Like Biden is like
political. I'm not going to nothing political on this channel at all.
It's I think the problem is, I think when we talk about things like this, I'm on a different realm to it because I believe that if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let you do it. I think people are so brainwashed. XP made a great comment that 5 years ago people were jumping and clapping like seals for the NHS and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
and the £5 super chat. So thank you, XP. Absolutely amazing.
And that's a great comment because it's literally, and people are so wrapped up in what the news has to say, what the government has to say, and I can't see it, to be honest. I can't see him staying on. But if it was above him, would it happen? Could they, like, I mean, it's a strange country. What would happen if, like, Charles or come and abolish Parliament one day or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that could legally happen. It's just,
I mean, it's unlikely to happen, but it's like the way he's going. I mean, they were celebrating Ramadan in like the palace, weren't they?
We won't go into that side of it. We'll try and keep some monetization on here, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Thank you also for the comments, XP. Appreciate it. Oh, talk about questions starting to get you in hot water here.
Yeah, I know, it's hard, isn't it? You'll have to pick them carefully.
Do you think Britain will have... What's this civil war talk? Everybody's about civil war. Do you think Britain will have civil war if World War III happens? I'm going to keep this super simple. You guys object if you want. No, because if that happens, I do think we are still a nation, despite who's in charge, despite the leadership. I still think we're a nation of people who would pull together when needed it, and there's plenty of patriots here. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Dave agrees. Brian agrees.
Yeah.
Right. Let's skip the Civil War stuff now, guys. It's not happening.
Something happy. Let's have something happy.
Something happy. There you go. Female tips. This is going to be happy. There we go. What tips do you have for female preppers? Brian, I'm going to come to you last in effort just to stretch that monetization out a bit longer before you kill us.
Oh, how rude. I had so much material to work with there and everything. Mate, I had a list of shit I was going to get you demonetized for.
It's already happened. It's already happened. Dave, I mean, it's a difficult one because it's a specific question. Because
it is. It depends on the specific female, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the thing is I know females that will literally rip your head off. I know other females that are really weak. I know females that are skilled. Yeah, I know females that that haven't got a clue how to do anything. It depends. It's such a broad question. I mean, female preppers definitely need to learn some sort of self-defense. 100%. Do you know what I mean? That's like without doubt. And even then, it's like you've got to be pretty good, because
it's genetics. It's genetics that will go based off the majority, not off the few.
Yeah.
They're going to be weaker in general, genetically.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I've come across girls that are like in their 30s that are tough kickboxing champions and that. Mm-hmm. I can get them down on the floor in seconds, right? Not in that kind of way. But the thing is,
Mr. Chocolate, he loves himself.
No, but a lot of the people go to self-defense classes and they get given a false expectation of a reality, right? So they're going to go, you do this hoo-flung dung and like this McDojo stuff, and they get this attacker, right? Is literally going to pick you up and dump you on the floor like you're nothing. It's like it doesn't work and it's like pointless. You need to find somewhere where you can learn some sort of good Krav Maga or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, something good that you can use as a lighter weight person or a more feminine person, that doesn't have the masculine strength, so you can rely on skill and technique and speed and dynamics rather than brute strength. So definitely self-defense for female preppers, 100%.
Okay, cool. Brian, you go.
Well, right.
Make a sandwich.
You misjudge me. You misjudge me so far. No, I was just going to say join a group. And I'm not plugging a Discord for any other reason other than it's a good group. Join a group of like-minded people who will let you speak to other female preppers like there is in the group. They'll give you their spin on things because nobody's got a better opinion than another woman and their perspective on prepping because they've got a unique perspective that frankly I don't have. I've got an opinion, but their opinion might be better. And they can tell you what trials, tribulations they've encountered across their prepper journey. So my advice would be, first and foremost, join a group of like-minded individuals who will be able to give you good advice and any pitfalls they may have encountered first.
Both great advice. Both centered around defense more than anything and security. This is for Ema, who was part of the fireside. Think of the stuff you need that men don't, like menstrual cup is what she held up on one of our streams, and me and Brian were like, what the hell?
What the fuck, Mike?
I'm just saying this is because you've got to think of stuff like that. That if it's complete Teotihuacan, they're not going to be making feminine hygiene products. And I don't think you want to be using sheep's wool packed down your knickers like they used to do a long time ago. So just think about, it's the same female preppers as I'll tell any disabled prepper, anyone with special abilities, anyone without anything, or, anything like that, is prep to what you need. Look at what you need every single day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, etc. Look at what you use, and that's what you're prepping for, and think where it's going to come from after that. So I had to mention the menstrual cup because Ema did shout out for it on the thing, and it's basically it's a reusable thing for when you're on your period. There you go. So I can talk about.
I don't know if it's worse that you mentioned it or you explained how to use it. I mean, you just killed me.
Now I'll give you a demonstration.
I was just sitting here, Brian. I was sitting here thinking, I'm going to have a sandwich soon, and he's just put me off my sandwich.
So
Well, it's
here
not
we
going to
have
be beetroot in it. That's
here we
for
have
sure
a
as shit.
and here,
Mate.
right? No, but you know, it's something more specific. There we go. I don't want to look at the chat now. I'm going to. Yeah, thank you for that question. Really appreciate it. Just scanning down now. If I miss any, I do apologize. For the lads, if you get to dress like Mad Max style, what would you choose? Right. Well, I'm just going to start that. We'll come back to that. Sorry, I thought it was a comment, not a question. Here we go. Let's keep scrolling down.
The chat's just went to shit now.
Yeah, it has completely. XP, you can have all the preps in the world, but what happens when you're on holiday abroad away on business when SHTF happens? This is a good one because we all are in these situations, and I constantly say it's never going to happen when you sat at home with all your preps and you've just stocked everything up and you've just wrote all your dates on and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the apocalypse now. Boom. It's not going to happen. So in this situation, Dave, you're abroad on holiday. You've decided to take the missus to Paris for a weekend, lovely romantic weekend. Boom, SHTF happens. Let's say, like our scenario, EMP, power cut, etc. You're tied away from all your preps. What happens then?
I say, je suis désolé, je ne comprends pas, je suis anglais. Which means I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm English. But the thing is skills all day long. Skills.
Yeah.
It's like this is the thing. It's like, and the reason I say skills is because if we find ourselves in a place that's not in our comfort zone, you know, it's like our home with our preps and everything like that, our local area, our local knowledge. It's like, and we're put in a strange environment. We still need to have the basic necessities and skills. So you still need to be able to like urban knowledge, like look out for abandoned buildings, look for tunnel systems, look out to urban forage. There's not a lot different in France than there is in the UK. It's not sort of like Africa or, you know.
This question itself is an advertisement of why skills are more important than any equipment.
Exactly, 100%.
Because you can forage, you can scavenge, you can get what you can, but skills you can take with you everywhere.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's so important that people start prioritizing skills over like cans. It's like, and this is not a dig at anyone, it's at all, because it's like, it's, you could be somewhere where you're not in comfort. You know, you're not in your comfort zone.
Brian doesn't holiday anywhere there's no Pepsi Max. If there's not Pepsi Max, he won't go on holiday.
He gets his own like little bar fridge, doesn't he, full of them.
All inclusive, no scrap that, just Pepsi Max.
Yeah, it's got to be skills, mate. It's literally, that's the only way you're going to survive in any country. And also the basic people skills, like profiling, situational awareness, the usual shit. You know, it's that gets you by in society anyway.
Yeah. Brian, anything to add for that? You often jet setting or cruising around the world?
I travel a little.
You travel. That's because you don't shop at Waitrose.
Yeah, that's what it is, mate.
To get it in there, right? To get it in somewhere. Sorry.
Common sense is often spoken about, but very rarely encountered. You'll see people go on holiday and they lose their minds. Where they live, they wouldn't walk about dripping like Mr. T with gold, and yet they seem to think when they go on holiday it's the thing to do. So common sense has got to come into it. Shit's hit the fan. If there's anarchy in the street where you're on holiday, why would you go outside? If you're in what you perceive to be a place of safety, and as you're walking through the building, you're looking for fire exits and different things anyway, you carry a moderate amount of cash with you, you know where your things are, your documents, travel documents. If you're slightly paranoid like me, you might have looked, if you're in Paris, where you could borrow a car, right? But common sense has got to come into it. If shit had hit the fan in the UK in your own street and there's riots outside, you wouldn't go outside, right? You wouldn't do it. So you wouldn't do it abroad.
But you'll miss all the fun of rioting, Brian.
Damn it.
You don't go and join in.
So, no, for me, it's common sense. That's the thing I would add to Dave's the skill set thing is 100% up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say common sense. Don't do abroad what you wouldn't do at home.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that one for this question is part of networking that we do in our groups and stuff like that. I know this is a UK-based network that we're building, and it's UK preppers we talk to, but we have gained friends through this channel in America, in Sweden, all over the world. So as you build a network up, there might be somewhere you could go to if you're stuck
Can I say so, Mike?
Go on.
I've actually had an invite to France to a lakeside cabin. One of my members on my group has the lakeside
Nice.
on there. So he owns a property on some lakes in the south of France. So that's something I might have to take up on. But like you said, it's contacts, isn't it?
Exactly.
In the right area, yeah.
Network and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only thing I would add to that as a caveat. Thank you for the super chat, XP. I think you're super chatted out tonight. You've done loads. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, guys. Regular questions. I'm gonna have to stop taking them out of the chat for now because we've got to get through the ones we're on. Otherwise, we're going to be on here all night. So I'm going to stop highlighting normal questions. If there's a super chat, we might jump on it. But other than that, I'm going to have to try and get through the ones we've got. Sorry. Has anyone give any prepping thoughts to a dystopian AI future? Stop. Don't answer it. Stay tuned for a fireside scenario on that one soon. Okay, next question. That wasn't planned. He just asked that. It wasn't a prompt for a plug. XB says, oh, we done that?
Yeah, you done that.
Oh my
God.
That. Everything's highlighting itself. There we go. Brian, what do you think is the best power bank to get? Snapdragon.
Depends what you want it to do, to be honest. If you want a power bank that will run your whole house,
Power things. Sorry, that's what we wanted it to do.
Oh, look, the handle thing's working again. I hate when it does that. It really depends. It's all a toolbox. So it depends on budget. It depends on what you expect it to do. If you expect it to run your house for 24 hours and you're running microwaves and toasters and hairdryers and shit, then you're going to spend a lot of money. If that's the case, it'd be the Anker F3800 or something like that. Really good piece of kit. If you want a general, we'll do a bit of everything power bank for a reasonable amount of money, EcoFlow Delta 2. You'll get it between $699 and $799 just now. Fantastic power bank. It will run TVs, everything. If you want an entry-level budget power bank that will do most things well but won't run microwaves and heaters and shit, get a little Anker C300, either the AC version or the DC version. It's sub 200 quid. It's a fantastic power bank. I've ran power drills, the grinders, 75-inch TVs for shits and giggles to see if it'll work. Fridge freezers off that little power bank. Fantastic. And the only caveat I would say is size dictates capacity. If you get a power bank that size, right, and you've got one that size, there's obviously going to be a huge difference in how long it will run shit.
There you go. So in summary, size matters, and your small power bank can still power your grinder account. There you go. That's what Brian said. Robert McNamara said a $5 donation. Thank you very much, Robert. Much appreciated. One of our friends from across the pond who will be calling upon if we're ever stuck in the States, I'm sure. Thank you for the question, Snapdragon. Much appreciated. Trade asked a similar question. I think you've covered that. But we'll go the second part of that one. Dave, any ideas of best water filter under £50?
Yeah. Right. So you've got the Sawyer portable water filter, which is probably the more expensive one. I think that's like about 40 quid now. They were cheap, but they've gone up to like about 40 quid now, which is good. But I've got a discount code on my YouTube for the water to go filter. Mm-hmm. That's basically the bottle, which again, I think it works out about 25 quid for the bottle and filters. So it's a good thing to have. And this apparently gets rid of viruses, the water to go, where the Sawyer won't. You'll still have to boil the water.
Yeah.
So for budget, yeah, sorry, Mike.
Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's so basically the Sawyer water filter and the water to go are my two go-to water filters, really. So I have one in one bag out bag and one in another, under
Yeah,
50 quid.
the water to go ones are really good. I'll just mention that Prepper Shop UK, no affiliation whatsoever, have the Sawyer Mini in at 35 plus 6 postage, which works out at 41. It's a couple of quid cheaper than Amazon. So if you're interested in that one, or go over and get Dave's discount code. Brian, the last part of that is one army surplus item that is great value. Do you have much army surplus, Brian?
Mess tins and things, sleeping bags, Bergens.
Yeah.
So best value out of a lot of them, long drop Bergen that I bought. At the time, I think I'm going to say it was about £45. Brilliant piece of kit. I mean, you could put a body in it and carry it for miles. They're just robust and they do what they say in the tin. So yeah, a good quality Bergen for armor surplus. You can't go wrong.
There you go. Dave, army surplus. I know you've got a bit as well. What's a great value item that you could recommend for army surplus?
For mess tins.
Yeah.
My mess tins I've had for, oh my God, 8 years, and I still take them out camping now. What are they? Tenner for a set of mess tins?
Yeah, and I will say the military surplus ones are better quality than the ones you'll get like in pound shops and stuff. Where
Definitely. Yeah. But I've had mine for like I say, about 8 years. Taking them on loads of camping trips. No problem. They're still going. There's no problem with them at all. They're still like immaculate, pretty much. They come up immaculate. So definitely army surplus. I'd say the mess tins.
Yeah, I'm just going to mention something smaller scale on the armor surplus for me is because you can get them from most prepper shops, most surplus shops. I'm sure Lee does them down at the bug out as well. Is the water filtration tablets that you get as part of like wrap packs and stuff. They're often sold separately, but in bulk, they're a fraction of the cost that you'll get these Oasis ones off Amazon and stuff like that. So it's just a small thing, but it's very easy to build up a huge stockpile of them and be able to filter loads of water. Well, not filter it through your Shemag first and then pop one of them in. But yeah, that's the one I'll mention for that. Thank you for the question, Trade. It was a good multiple level question that. Here's the Suburban Preppers one, Dave. Dave, are you really big and mean, or are you really like a cuddly teddy bear?
Oh, just as I was drinking my water, I'm choking.
Spitters are quitters, Dave. Spitters are quitters.
It's gone up my nose. Are you really big? Am I really big and mean? No. I'm yeah, probably am. But no, I'm about 6'1" and about 15 stone, and yeah, I'm a mixed martial art instructor, so I can be quite mean, but I'm a family man. I'm a good bloke, I'd say. I'm not really mean.
Listen, he's a teddy bear if you're on the right side of him. He's big and mean if you're on the other side of him. So just don't. Both, best of both there.
What's the teddy bear you see with the steak knife and the sharp teeth? That's the one that came to mind for me.
Were the dready bears or something like that?
Something like that. That's the ones.
Yeah.
No.
For the lads,
You've
if you had
done
to
that.
dress
Oh,
like
no,
we didn't answer. If you have to dress like Mad Max style, what would you choose? I know mine already.
This is very Brokeback Mountain, isn't it?
Right, okay.
Oh,
what do you vision your post-apocalyptic outfit looking like? Remember them scenarios we did? Yeah, you're a year down the line. What are you wearing today?
Dave? Go on, Brian. You can go.
Oh, go on, Brian.
That sounds really weird and creepy. Honestly, it's like Brokeback Mountain.
Hang on, let me get the ASMR mic close. Brian, what are you wearing today?
Something probably too tight. Is it like every other fucking day? A year down the line, I don't know.
Let's think probably practically. Would you be sporting like a tactical vest, stuff like that? You know, would you be still carrying weapons around with you? Think of that way, that side of things.
Body armor, ballistic plates, set of fatigues, good boots, and other things.
And a shield made of pure Pepsi Max cans.
empty cans.
Empty cans.
In fact, no, do you know what? I would just have a giant Pepsi can, right, with my head poking out the top and walking along with my arms and legs pointing out of it.
And
that's what I'd have.
Now coming down the catwalk and this 1 year in apocalypse fashion parade is Dave. Dave is sporting a lovely number. What are you wearing, Dave?
Well, I you know the peeler suits that the police have in the military, the NBC peeler suits.
Yep.
I could see it, right? It's like I've got the peeler suit on, I've got the black boots, the combat boots, I've got a chainmail hood over the top with a long grey beard and a war hammer.
Why is that the same vision I had of you in 1 year after as well? That's how I pictured it. That's exactly right.
I actually looked into buying chainmail hoods as well.
Right. I'm going to say, for me, well, I don't know what you're showing us, but oh, there you go. Angry Brian.
It's Brian.
So for me, anyone who's not seen it, it's tough. But Back to the Future, where he goes forward and Biff's got that silver thing on his head. That's me. There you go. That's my post-apocalyptic outfit. Back to the Future Biff. Thank you for that very interesting question. Like a fun one. Robert McNamara, much appreciated. Another $5 super chat. He says, Miss Worm has first dibs on the RV. Well, that's fine. I'm covered then. That's all right. Last question here, guys. Before I go to the last, I've missed 52 chats, so we'll have to catch up with the chat after this. But in a full-scale collapse, which would be greater long-term survival risk in the UK? Government intervention, martial law, or lawless chaos? Interesting. What's the worst kind of collapse there? Is it complete martial law, forced relocations, and all that lot, Big Brother, or is it just complete Mad Max? What's worse, Dave?
Anything to do with the government intervention, martial law, forced relocations, I'm totally against. That would be awful. Literally, it's like lawless chaos.
Lawless
chaos. It's like you would form. There would be militias formed against each other. This is what I'm trying to say with civil war. If it was that type of thing, in a full scale collapse, groups would get together, right, and you would build communities. You could not build a community, no matter how good-hearted you are, with government relocation, martial law, or anything. It wouldn't be allowed. You wouldn't be allowed to do anything. You would be under watch all the time. That would be my idea of hell.
Yeah. Brian, out of the two?
The first implies that you trust the government with your best interests. And therein lies the problem. Because it's not like they lie, is it? It's not like they would use a situation to manipulate things to their own end. So, COVID. So it's not like in that like that would happen.
Just get another kick in the bollocks for that monetization. Thanks, Brian.
With the first one, you give up control. With the last one, you would have the potential to at least have some sort of action and dictating your own future and pathway. With the first, you lose any choices. With the last one, you might be faced with a lot of shit choices, but you could still be the master of your own future to an extent. With the first one, you lose all chance of that. So, yeah, I think the first one's the worst one.
Yeah, and I'll agree. There's nothing really much to add onto that for me. I would agree. Totalitarianism is the worst possible scenario. As preppers, I think we all kind of have that mindset, and that's nothing to do with whatever political party's in power at time. Nobody wants a tyrannical government of any kind. So that was the last starred question. So we'll quickly catch up on the chat, and we should be good. Miss Worm said, "Good night, super chats. Well done, and thank you." Nearly £50 mark. That's awesome. That's amazing, guys. I really appreciate it. Snapdragon says, "Thanks, Brian, for the advice there." Kelly's, I still think a portable generator, suitcase, inverter type is far better value for money.
I think you need both, if I'm being honest. If it's got its place, the generator you're going to need when the sun's gone in the winter season anyway. So in an ideal world, you'll have both. It's not one size fits all. I'm not going to stand on a pedestal and say a power bank's better than a generator, but I also don't think a generator's better than a power bank. I think ideally both would be preferable.
Yeah, like anything, guys, don't have a single point of failure. All right, you know, you've stocked water, have water filters. You've got water filters and water, have sterilization tablets as well. It's always that, have a just in case, and it's a similar sort of thing with that. When I'm looking at land, I'm looking for somewhere where there's water running through as well, so I can have hydro as an option as well as solar. So, yeah, good point there, Kelly. Thanks for bringing that up. I have a solar panel that you can hang on your Bergen. Yeah, that's them fold-out ones. They're good. They're never going to generate as much power as a solid stationary one, like on your roof and stuff like that. But I suppose if it's travel, it's that little C300. That would be sufficient, wouldn't it, Brian? And the fold-out ones.
Yeah, it depends how much sun you're going to get anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
Most of them are like little 40 watt ones.
Mm-hmm. I got a twin pack of soya minis from Amazon for £52, including shipping. There you go. Good to know. The bloke from Soya explains the filter officially can't filter viruses, but viruses are actually attached to something that the filter will stop. I think it's like 99.9% of everything. Someone did make a good point in our Discord about all this filtered water, is you are also filtering out some good stuff there. So make sure you're supplementing the things you need as well. There's much more detail that if you go onto the Discord, people are talking about it, there's stuff all over there. So there you go. I've got tablets for years and it was 20 quid. That's what about the sterilization tablets, I assume. I'd ideally be suited up like the Mandalorian. I love that idea. That beats Dave's chainmail, full metal Mandalorian suit.
I couldn't afford that much Beskar, to be honest, mate.
You're not stockpiling Beskar? What's wrong with you?
No. Pepsi tins it'd be made.
You need to make a Mandalorian suit out of Pepsi cans, but silver side in, not silver side out, just so it's Pepsi branded all over. I was surprised as you were, Kelly. I was surprised as you were.
That's on my only pies. Only fans pies.
When the time comes, I'm styling myself on Tarzan. So just a loincloth and Jane is all that Anarchy will be wearing. Miss Worms put an extra disclaimer. Dear MI5, we all admire the government here and are confident in their abilities. Thank you for that one, just to clarify for everyone. Just trying to get to the bottom here, guys. Sorry if I missed any of your comments. 106 people in here still. Dave, tell them why to go and subscribe to the Urban Survivalist.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. I mean, the channel's quiet at the minute. I've been so busy because I'm actually like a lot of allotment and food growing stuff coming up on the channel. It's the growing season. We're doing like some videos at the moment of how to prepare the allotment, how to plant things, just how to maintain it, and like some food growing tips at the moment, some gear reviews coming up. But check it out. There's lots of stuff on there at the moment. That's been going for years. There's gear reviews. There's urbex, which is my favorite thing to do. I love abandoned buildings. I love tunnel systems. I love old bunkers, anything like that. But yeah, it'd be good. Go and check it out. There might be something that resonates for you. Thank you.
Excellent. And Brian, Scottish Prepper 73. The question for your channel is, how would you bake pies? But do explain to us what the channel is all about.
I tend to do reviews on things that interest me. I tend to follow with great interest activity in the power grid, because I tend to think that's the greatest threat that I tend to prep for. So a lot of my things will be related to power, what could cause it to go, what to do if it goes out. And I've done no videos for ages because I'm just really too busy. I've worked the last couple of weekends in the bounce, and I'm trying to get the prepper workshop up and running. So I hope to be more active soon.
Will we see a workshop build?
Yes.
Excellent. That'll be great. Worth tuning in, worth subscribing. Miss Worms put the link up there. Brian, it's not just pies. So go make sure you go and subscribe to him. And of course, Miss Worm, our awesome moderator, has her own channel as well, and published author and all that wonderful stuff. So make sure you go and check out her channel. Shall I play her advert? I should play her advert, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
There you go. That was Miss Worm's channel. And if you want to hear more of this,
ding dong.
Then go and check out her channel where she'll read your stories. Jay, Super Chat, as always, thanks for getting me through a boring chores on this Sunday evening. Great live tonight from Jay. Thank you guys. This live was all about you guys asking us questions. So it'd just be us three talking crap if you guys weren't here watching, showing your support for this channel and for these guys' channels and for the whole network. It's really appreciated. Brian, I'm mid-spiel. Jeez.
But Mike, it's still us three talking crap.
I know, but people are watching us. It is different. It's different. It's talking crap with an audience. That's it from me. No special plugs. All my links are usually in all the descriptions anyway. Miss Worm absolutely forced me to offer a 99p membership, and my hands are twitching, ready to delete it off there. So take advantage while you can. Join the channel. Come and join the Discord, even if you're not a member of the channel. There's a public area on there, and we'll all chat on there as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Dave, would you like to say goodbye to the wonderful peoples?
Yeah, goodbye. Thanks for having me again, and thanks for watching. Check me out on my YouTube and Facebook and other bits and pieces, and hopefully see you next week. Take care.
Excellent. Brian?
Thanks, guys. As always, good to see so many people desperate for something to do on a Sunday night. They'll listen to us, so always good. Says a lot about British TV, doesn't it?
There you go. There you go. From me, don't forget, prior planning prevents piss poor performance. See you all in the next fireside. Bye.
Round the fire, warm and bright, stocked up food for the night. Got our plans set in gold for the days when it's cold. Tools and gear stacked up high in the cabin we reside, listening to the winds howl, prepping for the morning's prowl. At the purpose fireside we stay, ready for that fateful day. Stories shared and hearts alight, round the fire every night. Water stored in jugs and tins, bunkered down through thick and thin. Maps and routes all drawn and laid, preppers live unafraid. At the purpose fireside we stay, ready for that fateful day. Stories shared and hearts alight, round the fire every night. In the glow of embers dance, we've prepared for every chance, living simple, living true, with the dream we all pursue. In the glow of embers dance, we've prepared for every chance, living simple, living true, with the dream we all pursue.